From KVUE News in Austin, you're watching Texas This Week with Ashley Goudeau.
Good Sunday morning. Governor Greg Abbott blasts President Joe Biden, and the state is battling Austin yet again. Let's get to the three things you need to know in Texas politics. Governor Greg Abbott traveled to Mission, Texas, which sits on the Texas-Mexico border, Tuesday. He criticized President Joe Biden, saying the Democrats' policies are making the humanitarian crisis at the border worse. Abbott said while securing the border is the federal government's responsibility, the state will continue to use its resources to keep Texans safe. In an extremely rare move, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick joined in on a Senate committee hearing Thursday. This is only the second time he's done so since being elected lieutenant governor. Patrick himself wanted to question the new chair of the Public Utility Commission about the PUC's decision not to reverse billions of dollars of electricity charges from Winter Storm Uri. And the exchange was tense.
You told me on Tuesday it was a mistake. And you agreed with me when I said we need to correct this. Did you tell me the truth or not tell me the truth when you talked to me on?
Sir, there's no way that I agreed with you that we needed to correct this. There's no way I would have done that. I mean, this whole thing is because I don't agree with you that we need to correct it. It's why it generated a letter from every senator but three. If I agreed with you, I would not be suffering this pain right now, right? I wouldn't have had to go through this. It would be very easy if I agreed with you. I don't. I'm sorry. And I just disagree that I have the authority to change it, and I don't think it helps consumers.
At 12:01 a.m. Wednesday, Texas's mask mandate was lifted, meaning Texans aren't required to wear face masks in public, unless, of course, you're in a handful of Central Texas cities that opted to keep their health authorities' rules requiring masks, an effort led by Austin and Travis County. And that led to a threat to sue from the Texas Attorney General if the rules weren't rescinded, a threat Ken Paxton followed through with. Joining us to talk more about this battle between the state and Austin is Austin American Statesman reporter Chuck Lindell. Good morning to you, Chuck.
Good morning.
You know, tell us a little bit, first and foremost, not really surprising to you, you've been covering politics for a long time, to see the state suing Austin yet again, right?
It's happened before. It's probably going to happen again, yes.
You know, this lawsuit, if you listen to both sides, it seemed as though they were kind of getting caught up in semantics as far as who had the right to do what.
Well, that's your typical legal battle, isn't it? You know, Governor Abbott last week rescinded his executive orders that put, occupancy limits on businesses and ended his mask mandate. And that took effect Wednesday, just this last week. And the day before that took effect, Austin and Travis County announced that they're still going to enforce their mask mandates. And that's what led to the legal battle. It's still going on.
I thought it was interesting because I talked with some city staffers who say they thought that under the Texas Health and Safety Code that they could still do this. There's a chapter in the code. So their argument was, we're not doing a local ordinance or a local rule. We're just following what the health authority says, which is what we are allowed to do. But tell us what the governor's argument is.
Well, they're citing dueling parts of state law. The governor, this is governor's authority is under a declared disaster due to the pandemic, and that gives him disaster authority to waive state laws, make requirements like the mask mandate that no longer is in effect. And that state law also says that what the governor orders supersedes any contrary rules that cities, counties, school districts put in place. So yeah, you're right. The governor said, Attorney General Ken Paxton says that the governor's authority holds and that local authorities can't make these kind of rules. Austin Mayor Steve Adler and Travis County Judge Andy Brown agree with that. They say, yeah, we're not enforcing the rules. Dr. Mark Escott, who sets the health authority for the local areas, we're following his guidelines and his recommendations and his authority under state law. And that's what's going to probably be decided by the judge when this case gets its day in court.
On Friday, this had a bit of a day in court. There was a temporary restraining order that was heard. Tell us what happened in court Friday.
Well, the judge convenes the hearing. Judge Laura Livingston, the judge from Travis County. AG's office asked for a temporary restraining order saying right now, let's stop Austin and Travis County from being able to enforce this. The judge said, you just filed this lawsuit yesterday afternoon. I just got the city and county's response in a legal brief right before this hearing started. I haven't even read it yet, she says. So the bottom line is the judge declined to issue the temporary restraining order requested by the AG's office, said, we need to have a full hearing on this, and everyone needs to have time to brief this and come up with all their legal arguments instead of rushing stuff into print and dumping it into my courtroom. We're going to wait for 2 weeks. The mask mandate can be enforced in the meantime. And we're going to have a full hearing on this with witnesses, with evidence, with proper legal arguments. And on that day, in 2 weeks, the judge said she will issue her ruling, which is relatively fast in legal terms. But she recognizes, or said she recognizes, that there's some weighty issues at play here.
Is there any action that the Attorney General can take in the meantime, in these 2 weeks?
I'm trying to figure that out. Been told that TRO decisions are not reviewable. There's no court reporter even to take down what happened to send to an appeals court. So the AG's lawyers agreed to the time schedule set up by the judge. They wanted a hearing on Friday. They wanted that hearing to take place immediately. The judge said, not fair to the defendants, the city and county, because they obviously were up all night writing their legal brief that appeared that morning. Less than 24 hours turnaround on a weighty matter like this. The judge said, we're not going forward yet on that.
Chuck, I really want to ask you, though, this whole act of not necessarily reopening businesses at 100%, because I think that's a separate issue, but the order of lifting the mask mandate, how heavy of a hand did politics play into this decision?
Politics plays a heavy hand in every decision that these leaders make. I mean,
fair.
Politics is the art of compromise, of making decisions happen. Governor Abbott was under extensive pressure from the right flank of the Republican Party to get rid of his mask mandates, to get rid of capacity limits on business that were hurting individual, not only business owners, but employees who weren't getting the paycheck that they used to get, if at all. Democrats were pressing the governor for tighter restrictions, saying he was too timid. Our local leaders in Austin and Travis County are Democrats. Politics, I'm sure, played a part in their decision as well, as did, their desire to keep people safe, to improve safety, to limit the opportunity to spread COVID-19.
I want to offer a simple message this morning, given the state of our state in the midst of a pandemic. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. In life, we have the ability to do so many things to selfishly benefit ourselves, or at least seemingly benefit us. Not wearing a face mask shouldn't be one of them. When you make the decision to mask up when you leave your home, you are protecting an entire community. And more than that, your simple, selfless action has the power to save your community from heartache. More than 500,000 people in this country have died because of this virus, which means double or triple that number have holes in their lives now. And hundreds of thousands of others will feel the physical effects of this virus on their bodies for the rest of their lives. The war against COVID is ending, but it is not over yet. Doctors, researchers, experts, they all say the same thing. Your little mask can save lives, so wear it. Just because you can go maskless doesn't mean you should. If you won't do it for yourself, just think about the people you love. That's the last word. And this has been Texas This Week.